but collaborative, cooperative approach to life. We look for ways to create win-win situations to uplift and support others while also pursuing our own goals and dreams. We understand that by helping others succeed, we create a rising tide that lifts all boats, including our own. This abundance mindset is at the heart of acting as if you're a millionaire. It's about recognizing that true wealth and success come from creating value in the world, from making a positive impact on the lives of others. It's about understanding that the more we give, the more we receive, and that by focusing on serving and contributing, we attract abundance and prosperity into our own lives. But cultivating an abundance mindset is not always easy, especially if we've grown up with limiting beliefs and scarcity thinking. It requires a willingness to challenge our assumptions, to question the stories we tell ourselves about what's possible and what's not. One powerful way to shift our mindset is through the practice of gratitude. When we take time each day to acknowledge and appreciate the blessings in our lives, we start to shift our focus from what we lack to what we already have. We start to recognize the abundance that surrounds us, even in the midst of challenges and obstacles. Nature also helps us cultivate a sense of contentment and fulfillment, regardless of our external circumstances. When we learn to find joy and satisfaction in the present moment, we become less attached to the idea that we need to achieve certain milestones or acquire certain possessions in order to be happy and successful. Another key aspect of acting, as if you are a millionaire, is developing a strong sense of purpose and mission. Millionaires understand that true success and fulfillment come from living a life of meaning and impact, from using their talents and resources to make a positive difference in the world. When we have a clear sense of purpose, we become more focused, more motivated, and more resilient in the face of challenges and setbacks. We understand that our goals and dreams are not just about personal achievement, but about contributing to something greater than ourselves. To cultivate a sense of purpose, start by reflecting on your values, passions, and unique strengths. What is it that you care deeply about? What are the problems or challenges in the world that you feel called to address? What are the skills and talents that you have to offer in service of others? Once you have a clear sense of your purpose, start taking action towards it every day. Look for ways to align your goals and activities with your larger mission and seek out opportunities to make a positive impact in your community and beyond. As you pursue your purpose with passion and dedication, you may face obstacles and challenges along the way. This is where the power of resilience comes in, the ability to bounce back from setbacks and keep moving forward, no matter what. Millionaires understand that failure and adversity are not to be feared, but embraced as opportunities for growth and learning. They know that every challenge we face is a chance to develop new skills, to gain new insights, and to become stronger and more resilient in the process. To cultivate resilience, start by reframing your relationship with failure and setbacks. Instead of seeing them as evidence of your inadequacy or lack of worth, view them as feedback and opportunities for improvement. Embrace a growth mindset and recognize that your abilities and intelligence are not fixed, but can be developed through effort and perseverance. It's also important to surround yourself with a supportive network of people who believe in you and your vision. Seek out mentors, coaches, and accountability partners who can offer guidance, encouragement, and constructive feedback along the way. Build relationships with like-minded individuals who share your values and your commitment to personal growth and success. As you continue on this journey of acting as if you are a millionaire, remember that the ultimate goal is not just to achieve external markers of success, but to become the best version of yourself. It's about developing the mindset, habits, and qualities that allow you to live a life of purpose, passion, and fulfillment, regardless of your circumstances. This means cultivating a deep sense of self-awareness and self-reflection. It means being willing to honestly assess your strengths and weaknesses, to acknowledge your fears and limiting beliefs, and to do the inner work required to overcome them. It means taking responsibility for your thoughts, emotions, and actions, and choosing to respond to life's challenges with courage, compassion, and wisdom. Ultimately, acting as if you're a millionaire is about embracing a holistic approach to success and fulfillment. It's about recognizing that true wealth and happiness come from living a life aligned with your values, your purpose, and your highest potential. It's about creating a legacy that extends far beyond material possessions or external accolades and touches the lives of others in meaningful and lasting ways. As you embrace this mindset and way of being, remember to be patient and compassionate with yourself along the way. Transformation is a journey, not a destination, and it requires consistent effort and practice over time. So there will be ups and downs, successes and failures, moments of clarity and moments of doubt. But through it all, keep coming back to your core values and your larger vision for your life. Keep focusing on the small daily actions that move you closer to your goals and dreams. Keep seeking out opportunities to learn, grow, and contribute to the world around you. And most importantly, keep believing in yourself and your ability to create a life of incredible impact and meaning. Because when you act as if you are a millionaire, when you embody the mindset and qualities of someone who has already achieved the level of success you desire, you become unstoppable. You become a force for good in the world, a beacon of hope and inspiration for others. So go out there and start living this principle today. Start acting as if you are a millionaire in every area of your life, your relationships, your health, your personal growth, your impact on the world. Start embracing abundance, cultivating resilience, and pursuing your purpose with passion and determination. And remember, the journey is just as important as the destination. Enjoy the process, celebrate your progress, and keep learning and growing every step of the way. Because when you live your life as if you are already a millionaire, when you align your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with your highest vision for yourself and your impact on the world, you become the living embodiment of success, abundance, and prosperity. You become an unstoppable force for good, inspiring others to rise to their own greatness, and creating a ripple effect of positive change that extends far beyond your own life. So here's to your journey of acting as if you are a millionaire. Here's to embracing your full potential, to living a life of purpose and passion, and to making a positive impact on the world around you. The time is now, the moment is here, and the power to create an extraordinary life lies within you. So let's go out there and make it happen together. Imagine waking up every morning with the confidence, self-assurance, an unwavering belief that you are destined for greatness. What if I told you that the key to unlocking your true potential and achieving the life of your dreams lies in one simple principle? Today, I'm going to share with you.
Getting up each morning and choosing to be happy. Saying with David, it's not how I feel, I will rejoice. I will be glad. Like Paul, let's get in the habit of thinking happy thoughts. If you'll do this, I believe and declare you're going to live happier. You're going to enjoy your life more. Forces that have held you back are being broken right now. God is about to release you into new levels of joy, favor, freedom, fulfillment. You will finish your course with joy in Jesus' name. And if you believe it, can you say amen?
You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. That's the challenge. And of course, the other side of the coin reads, unless you change how you are, you'll always have what you got.
There are people who will want you to live in your past, about the mistakes you've made, how many times you've had failed relationships, how many times you've fallen off your bike, fallen off of goals, fallen off of your aspirations. Well, it's time for you to stop letting others dictate your pace. Instead of being worried about, concerned about, or fearful about failure, or even consumed by the fact that you have a past, you've already surpassed your past. You've lived days past it, so you might as well make the days count. Now that you are here, start counting now.
You are going to regret not taking the hard road sooner. I know you have big ambitions and you want to do these big things, and that's great. But all those things that you don't want to do, all that work that you're avoiding is going to be the reason why you don't get there. What you fail to realize is that if you avoid the work, you avoid the result.
If you're going to build anything great in your life, it's going to be through force. It's going to be through complete, rigid dedication and discipline to move forward. And when the people come and they get in your ear and they say, take it easy, you're working too hard, you got to learn to go with the flow, just know that if you listen to those people, you will be exactly like those people.
And every day, the same answer came back to me. Do you want to be on your deathbed knowing that you could, but you didn't? So why do you care about what people are thinking when they're not trying to go where you're trying to go?
What's going to happen when you get to the end of your life, or you get to a time where this is over? You're going to have the greatest poison in your soul. You know what that is? Regret. I wish I would have did more. I wish I would have been there more. And you will never live in peace by living in regret. So I want to tell all of you, when it comes to success, make sure you make it holistic.
I may not know now, but one day I will, and That's what faith is at its core. I may not understand right now, but I trust that one day I will. And it's not my job to try to understand everything. It's my job to continue to make the next step. Continue to just focus on this moment that I have in front of me.
Doesn't matter what mistakes you made. It's about the decisions you make right now. I'm going to win. I'm going to go after everything that I've ever wanted to be, everything I've ever wanted to do, and I will not allow anybody to say my W-H-E-N win. What I'm looking for is when am I going to W-I-N win? When am I going to get my second W-I-N-D win? It comes when you decide that it's not about what I haven't done, it's about what I can be, what I can do. Your past is simply more ammunition for you to get started.
You must get excited. And not just the false enthusiasm of just pure positive thinking. You've got to get excited over some very basic things. One is get excited over your ability to make yourself do the necessary things. Because discipline is major step one toward personal progress. And anytime a person wishes to, they can make major changes in their life, personally and socially and financially. It doesn't ever have to be the same after today. No telling what you could do today if you really wish to.
I want to be the one that says, I'm going to do it anyway. I know I don't feel good today, but I'm going to go out there and I'm going to prove to myself that even on days that it doesn't feel right, I push myself. The only way to gain confidence in yourself is to build something. It's not to wait for it to happen.
Whenever you think you can't, confidence comes from the thing that you built. You must build belief. You must build confidence. It can't be like, hey, I'm gonna knock that shit out. You gotta look over here and say, I can knock that shit out. It's belief, and it's built on what you put in to yourself.
Get up, move towards that challenge, whatever that challenge is. Move towards that challenge and go attack it. And you may be successful and you may not be successful, but you will be better. And the next challenge, you're gonna be more prepared for. And you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and then you're gonna win.
Don't accept that fact right now and you just continue to try to do things the easy way. When you eventually accept this reality of life, all you're going to be doing is left wondering, where would you be today if you had just taken the hard road sooner?
Faith is knowing a door is going to open for your life that don't even exist yet. Faith is knowing that the only possibilities that exist are the ones you create. I need you to believe with your faith. I need you to know if I'm doing the right things, if I'm showing up, if I'm watering the seed, if I'm taking care of my business, if I'm taking care of myself, then at the right time, maybe not your time, but at the perfect time that's meant for your life, that harvest, that crop, that dream, that vision, that purpose, that goal, that breakthrough is going to happen.
You see, what you are is a living testament that someone can become great. If you don't believe you're great, you don't know what you're looking at. You've already survived every one of your bad days. You're a survivor. And because you're a survivor, it makes you a hero or heroine in your own story. And if you don't think that that's big enough, if you were to look around and look at the family members who've been watching you, who are amazed by the fact that you didn't throw in the towel when you were down, when you were out, when you were losing, it's because you're not a quitter. You never were born to be one. And if you're going to quit anything, quit looking at your own past.
No offense, but if you still think stocks, real estate, or crypto are the best passive income investment.
How easy is it to get up in the morning when you know you're not doing all that it takes? It's not very easy at all. You can just lay there awake thinking, oh, what's a few more minutes in bed? It won't matter much anyway. Wrong. It does matter. It will matter. Now, how easy is it to get up in the morning when you're pouring it on, doing the best you can, anxious to get going, make progress toward your dreams? It's a whole different story. When you're resting to renew your reserves, it's much different than resting to avoid your day. When you're psyched up and excited for your life, when you're excited for what you plan to accomplish for the day, it's amazing you'll wake up before the alarm clock even tries to startle you awake. Your successes fuel your ambition. Your successes pave the way for more successes. Your successes give you extra energy. With one success, you're excited to meet another, and another. And pretty soon, the disciplines that were so difficult in the beginning, the disciplines that got you going, are now part of your philosophy.
When I was 21 years old, my sponsor was a guy named John Walker. I got laid off from Ford Motor Company. I wasn't working, so I didn't have no reason to get up in the morning. Every single morning at 5:30, my phone would ring. I pick up the phone. Hello. Steve, this is John Walker. How you doing, man? It's gonna be a great day. Yeah, John, I'm asleep, man. Hey, man, it's gonna be a great day. And he'd hang up. Next day at 5:30 in the morning, Steve, this is John Walker. It's gonna be a great day. How you doing today? John, I'm asleep, man. Hey, man, just want to tell you it's gonna be a great day. Click. Next morning, hello. Now I'm mad now, and I kind of know who it is. He didn't change a damn thing. Steve, John Walker, it's gonna be a great day today. 37 days in a row, he called me the exact same way because he was teaching me. And every single day, I picked the phone up. Yeah. Steve, John Walker, man. Yeah, John, yeah, it's gonna be a great day. Click. And then one day, the 38th day, he picked up the phone. I said, hello? He said, hey, Steve, it's John Walker. I said, yeah, man. He said, man, can I ask you something? Why do you answer the phone like that in the morning? He said, every time I call, 37 days in a row, and you keep answering the phone like something's wrong. I said, hey, man, I got laid off. You know, I ain't got to get up early, man. He said, I'm really disappointed in you, man. He said, man, when you gonna change your attitude? He said, when you wake up in the morning, man, you got a bad attitude, which pretty much explains why you've been having a lot of bad days. I hate that about you, man, because you're such a cool dude. You got so much potential. He said, man, I'm sorry to bother you. And he hung the phone up. Man, let me tell you something. That cut me so deep, man. You don't even understand what they did to me. So the next morning, I'm damn near sitting up in the bed. Hello? Hey, Steve, it's John Walker. I said, hey, John, what's happening, man? What's going on with you, baby? I said, it's Steve Harvey, man. He said, Steve, how's it going? I said, man, I'm having a great day, man. I'm having a great day, John, man. You don't believe it, man. He said, man, you my man. Click, and he hung up. And I wanted him to ask me what had happened, but he never did. Then one day he called me, he said, hey, man, you're going to be sheer greatness because you've learned how to wake up. 21 years later, I got a gig in Chicago on the radio. You know what I was? Morning drive guy. You know what I've been doing since 1991? Every single morning, I talk to 9.5 million people every week. I have the #1 adult contemporary radio show in the world. I wake people up every morning, and I wake people up with the right attitude because my attitude changed. It's the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Cut it on and watch how I do you every morning.
Very important when it comes to developing yourself, your talents, your abilities, your skills. You can't manage time. Everybody is 24 hours. What's most important is managing yourself, what you do with your time. So I want you to think about what it is that you're doing with your time today. And you know what? If you look at it, all of us are basically the same. The only difference is how you use your time. As you look at yourself, look at where you are right now in your life, the people that are going to come out on top, the people that are going to achieve their goals, are the people who are mindful on how they use their time. You have to practice being mindful and asking yourself, is this the most productive use of my time? While my friends were potters, I spent more time working on developing myself and my skills. I spent more time with my coach than I did with my friends. Why? I like my friends, but they weren't going to pay my bills. Write this down. If you use your time correctly, you'll be able to generate walk-away money. If you use your time correctly, you'll be able to generate walk-away money. The average person, time is no big deal to them. That you know people have a lot of talent, a lot of abilities, but they're not using their time appropriately. You don't manage time, you have to manage yourself. I just carved out time every day to memorize a minimum of 3 to 5 quotes. You give me a topic, I can roll with it because it's in here. I spend time working, reading, listening. If you want to put in the time so that you can learn a new skill, so that you can get out of a job that's not you. I remember
Mic check, Cornell, mic check.
I had the opportunity to audition for a play.
All right, brother. It looks like it's just you and me for today, doing what we do, man. I sent a text out to the rest of the academy to see if they might need some assistance. And, you know, if they chime in, they do. Otherwise, man, we're just going to do what we do. How was your how was your Memorial Day?
Oh, Memorial Day was good. Can't complain. Stay with family. Cook a little bit of stuff on the grill. It was good. It was good. You know, did it yesterday instead of the weekend. So yeah, it was
Awesome,
good.
man. Now, do you have any service service members in your lineage?
Oh yeah. So I got some uncles that served, and yeah. So they even did the same thing. They in another state though, but yeah, they had a good Memorial Day too yesterday.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. I'm glad to hear that, man. Ditto, man. We kind of did a little grilling yesterday as well. Nothing
Okay.
over the weekend. The weekend was kind of a blur. We had family in town because of my grandma's funeral, and then my wife and I, man, we found a way. We had a marriage retreat seminar at our church.
Okay. Wow.
And we found a way to do church and family. So
Same time.
we just we're just recovering now, just exhausted.
Really? Exhausted.
Yeah, man. But it's all good, man. It's all good. So I did want to honor today's session because I know some people are not available, but I'm going to bring as much value as possible. You may not be aware, but this gentleman that we're going to interview tomorrow was previously on our level of podcast through OC.
Yeah. Okay.
And he was dynamic. And my commitment or my request is, I said, man, the next time you come back through, man, I got to have the better half of this dynamic duo. So we're actually going to have Avery and his wife, LaShawn. And so what's dope, not sure if you remember this couple or this gentleman, but he does his product and his service is he provides high-speed internet access to people out in the rural communities.
Oh wow!
So it's kind of dope, man. So he works agreements out where he might get a farmer to let him to put a tower device to transmit the signal. from one place to another. So it's gonna be high tech. He's an engineer, so this is what he does, and his wife is the marketing arm. So you know what we do with Level Up, man. Anytime we see black or brown excellence, we want to talk to them.
Yep.
So that's gonna be wonderful, man. That's gonna be wonderful. All right, so I am just going through my slides for the day, and man, I have prepared, man. If we don't have any real questions for Marketplace, man, I want to go through some conversations of creating the fallacy of I want to say it the right, I want to say it in the right way. Okay. The fallacy of thinking that what you have is a function of what you did, and what you did is a function of who you are becoming. Because it's truthfully it's the opposite. Sometimes we think if we have $1 million, then we will be doing or things that millionaires do. And if we're doing millionaire type things, we will have like a millionaire type of mindset. It's almost like if I see it, then I'll believe it.
Yeah,
what I want to talk about is the opposite. I want to talk about being your identity, becoming, and because you're becoming impacts your doing ultimately impacts your having. So that's the direction I plan on taking our discussion today. But before we get there, brother, was there any questions that came through for you and your business this week, or last 2 weeks actually?
Well, wow, yeah, I had a couple questions. Actually, the first one is talking about the businesses have on your behalf when it comes to B&B, have they automatically approved a guest alteration, like shorten a guest stay, or basically shorten a guest stay and altering a guest stay, even after you have fixed the guest complaints? Have they actually on their end actually automatically did that for you after you as a host had fixed guests like worries and complaints they had about their room or their stay or anything? Because that had recently happened to me, so I wanted to see if you had experienced it.
No, that'd be interesting. Yeah. Okay. So
that are they more of guest friendly than host friendly, or is it even, you believe?
Okay.
The second question I had is does taking guest bookings through like request for money, so it's a button on there that's saying you can request for money or send money, so that's the same as doing it through the resolution center. So for example, if taking money from a guest through their request through the request money button, does that take away from your algorithm? So if you're requesting, if a guest wants to stay 1 night more, 2 nights more, but they can't extend their stay on a platform, but they just want to do it through a request, if you do that a few times with a guest, does that actually hurt your algorithm, or does it affect it any way of any other guests seeing your listing on the platform, of Airbnb? Because that's different than them actually extending it. You're actually just sending them a request for them that's set. Say if they want to stay 3 more nights, you send them a request for how much that is, and they can do it that way versus extending that booking. But doing it the other way, does that really affect the algorithm and other guests seeing your listing on the site or anything like that? So that's just the 2 questions I had.
Interesting question. Okay. Yeah, we can jump into those. And I'm gonna throw a question your way just for giggles. For giggles, yeah. So the question that I would throw into the mix is this: how is your algorithm affected if you block out nights? If you block out nights for family coming into town because you want to host your family. Okay. Okay. Block out nights. because we're coming into that season where people are traveling. If you've done a half decent job, your people who are near and dear to you know you have spaces, and they might want to hit you up, and you have some choices, right?
Yeah.
You could have them booked through Airbnb, or you could just pass that love and say, "I got you."
Mm-hmm.
Does that affect your algorithm? We're gonna talk about it. All right, cool bean. All right, so we're at we're at our conversation. I did, at least, with my wins for the week. I'm interested to know what your wins. My wins was just me and my wife, my immediate family. We got through memorializing and honoring my grandmother, 97 years, y'all. 97 years. What a blessing.
Yes,
We were trying to go through the numbers. She had, I thought I was the oldest of 25 grands. I found out I'm not. I'm the second oldest. But I had an uncle who had a beautiful daughter, and didn't get introduced to the family until way later in life. So I got a chance to connect with my cousin Nikki, and she's an entrepreneur as well. So we're going to try to get on our level of conversation. But no, just I think over 50 great grands. And then, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. We got through it. It was emotional. It really did test patience, because, when people sometimes don't have their best face on when they're under stress. But we got through it. So that was all.
That's good.
What about you, brother? What was your wins for the week?
My wins basically for the week was I definitely from yesterday having basically how some family it's hard to get together and stuff during holidays. It's actually good that we all got together in one place and I actually enjoyed. And actually the family wants to take a trip down to Georgia, actually where my grandmother is and where most of my family is. And they want to take a trip down in August and all have get together and just spend time together all at once, the whole family, the cousins, uncles, aunts, and nieces. So that's really a win to me to have everybody together in one place at one time, because usually people's schedules are all over the place. Some people are doing this and that, so that's always good. Definitely that's a big one for family to get everybody together to see each other. While we're here on this earth too. When it comes to business wise, I know recently I just had a few guests actually do extensions during this season. So that's good. And I also another one to tag along with that is I've been actually taking advantage of the onboarding calls. I didn't know that Price Labs has onboarding calls, and you can book calls to just have any questions, and they also have group calls that you can get on to actually understand platform more and more and get your questions asked. So that's good. I learned a little bit more about dynamic pricing.
Amen. Listen, if you're in this space of short-term rentals, don't sleep on this AI for your pricing. Don't sleep. It's a game changer. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Talk to me a little bit about your occupancy. Where you at with respect to the numbers?
Oh yeah, I'm at right now. I'm at what about like 90% occupancy. So I only have about like one room. One room that's not booked right now. So that's pretty good. Occupancy right now, especially for the season that we're going in, the high season. We have some future upcoming reservations coming up. That's pretty long term too. And I don't mind that because with this AI, taking advantage of AI, it's already automatically set for you to have everything covered for you to not leave any money on the table. So we can have our professionals book out 2-3 months ahead and still be covered, but I actually have to manually do things here and there and actually run the risk of actually leaving some money on the table because we leverage AI. So
Yeah. It's so funny because, you kind of have a little bit, when you know what your numbers are, you have a little bit more of a swag, if you will, when
Mhm.
when you get these requests that are not realistic. Like,
Yeah.
I had a person that wanted to tie up my place for 90 days,
Mm,
and they wanted to do it at the low season rates.
mm.
I'm like, wait a minute, we can ready to go into July. I can't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
I don't care how long you here for. But then, the truth is, a year ago, before I had the data, I would have bit right on that.
Wow.
Why? Because I was operating, you know, I was operating kind of in the dark. I was just happy to have, an extended booking. And a lot of people who are in this space, are probably doing the same thing. Literally, I bet you right now, we got someone who is, taking like, a 90 or more day booking, and they're doing it, at something at less than $25 a night.
Wow. Oh, wow. Over there where you at, Rochester.
Yeah. Oh,
Wow.
because they're again, and there's nothing wrong with making or for you making the request, because hey, it's all about the negotiation.
Hmm.
But if you're treating your business like a non-for-profit, how long are you gonna be in business?
Yeah, not very long. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
Especially if you got overhead, if you got
Hmm.
overhead. Now, when we go into our next season within the academy, because some people are only going to be around for season one, but the next season, and I was sharing this with OC, I'm really trying to transition you guys out of the rental arbitrage model into co-listing.
Hmm.
And the reason for that transition is, as I've learned this, the easiest way to get into Airbnb passive income is through rental arbitrage. It is the easiest way to get into it because you don't have to have a track record. However, it is the way where you have the most exposure, quote unquote, because things could be up or down. And you know what? You the dollars that you're generating, okay, are not necessarily dollars that are allowing you to go. What's the word I'm looking for? We have passive, we have cash flow, and we have equity. When you
Hmm.
have rental arbitrage, you're heavy on the cash flow, but you're not generating any equity.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, once you can have learned how to manage your own portfolio, you now can manage other people's portfolio. That's level 2. That's what I'm going to be teaching you guys in year 2, how to do this co-hosting. So with co-hosting, you don't have any expenses coming directly from you.
Yeah.
None.
Yep.
Your landlord or whoever the property owner is going to own, you can kind of determine the terms. You may want to set a percentage where they just worry about the lights and the gas and the Wi-Fi, and you do the furnishings because we know how to do it,
Hmm.
and you have a slightly higher split. Or if they want to own that, do the furnishing, you can lower that split. So you are being basically paid to keep that place full because of your knowledge of how to use PriceLab, your
Hmm.
knowledge of how to optimize that Airbnb algorithm, your knowledge of how to basically automate the cleaners. All right. So that's second level. The highest level, friend, is get a good, and you have one. You have a great one. Uh, 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 Colleague who can help you locate your own property.
Hmm.
All right. and purchase that property. Purchase that property.
Wow.
Because once you purchase, you don't need to purchase a bunch. Like at one point, you know, and I said this, you know, jokingly when I first got into Coach Jim's academy. He said, "McCray, how many places you gonna get?" I said, well, you know, my dad had 40 rental properties. You don't need 40 with Airbnb passive income. You don't need 40. If you own 10 properties outright, and you don't have to do it overnight, but that's going to replace most people's 6-figure salary.
Yeah, I believe so.
And what you're literally doing is you're getting your 40 hours that is being spread out over 40. You're getting your time back.
It's valuable. Getting that time back is valuable, man.
You're getting all that time back. So I mean, I'm excited to be able to take you guys to that next level. But those are the, you know, boom, rental arbitrage, level 1, co-listing, level 2, third level, buy that property outright. You buy it right, and then you just add value, and you have these short-term rentals. That space is paying down that equity in your place.
Yeah, it is.
Warp speed. At warp speed. So that's pretty cool. All right, well, cool. So we've talked about occupancy. My occupancy is pretty good too, man. In fact, with the exception of the 3 places, because I'm in that season where I let my landlords know that I wasn't doing a year 2 of a lease. That we had option 1, that, you know, we you know, our companies, are option 2, we go into the co-listing model. You know, they didn't feel comfortable with the co-listing model, which is beautiful, not a problem. So I'm actually shutting those places down. So I'm running some numbers. My second quarter, I'm probably going to be more profitable with less spaces than I was first quarter, because I got less overhead going on.
Yeah.
Man, it's not how much money you make. It's how much you keep.
Yeah, how much you keep. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. How much money you keep.
It's how much you keep. So it's really counterintuitive. So I say that to say all of my places that I'm not shutting down, I'm almost at 90% occupancy.
Great. But what you just talked about a few minutes ago, I had another question on the marketplace, really about mindset, not really about the business. Is like, why do you think in your beliefs and opinions that when it comes to us as people, why is it really so hard to leave our 9-to-5s, our current jobs and everything? Is this system they call that the matrix? Is it set up by design? Is it set up by the 1%, or is it like, how is it so hard, and why is it so hard to get out of it, to be able to live that life that you sought out to live, that God wants you to sought out to live, and you want to sought out to live? And is it made against us? They call it the job trap, or 9-to-5 trap, or just above broke, what job stands for. Why is it very difficult to get out? Is it society, the 1%, or is it all by design? Or is it matrix? What is your thoughts and opinions on that? Because I see a lot of people that work for so long, and it's like they still don't have freedom, or they don't have their time. And then they just become like conditioned to what they've been given. They become real complacent, and it's like, is all that by design, or is it just, something that we just gotta actually do to pull ourselves out of it?
That is such a dope question. Yeah, we definitely want to talk about that, because I think that would help a lot of people, for sure. Okay, good stuff, man. All right, so that's our perfect segue. Let's get into the market questions, and we'll just bounce back and forth a little bit. All right, so I'm actually going to throw my question to you. So you got people coming in town, family, friends, whatever, and you could have them book using your platform, Airbnb platform, or, you could throw them the love and just have them stay there, depending on the relationship, and you block out your calendar. All right, first and foremost, question number one. What do you think? Well, I guess it's not truly a question. It's more of a thought. The thought is this. How many reviews do you have?
Total? Shoot,
Yeah.
over like 100, over like 140.
Yeah. All right. At what point did your reviews stop mattering to you? What was the number? Was it 50, 40? Was it 70?
I think it stopped mattering really, but like 50.
After you got the 50th review.
Yep.
I mean, the truth of the matter is this. I don't really even look at my reviews unless there's something other than a 4 or 5.
Oh yeah.
I don't even look at my reviews.
Yeah.
Now I will look at the 3s, and if a 3 or 2 pops up, then I'm on it. So I say all that to say is, when you first getting started, we actually encourage you, have your friends and family book your place for the minimum amount that you can charge, and just cash app them the money back. Because it's really not about the money, it's about the momentum.
Yep.
Now, once you get the momentum, come on. So now here's my question. My question is this. Do you think having somebody in your place messes up your algorithm if you block off the calendar?
You know what? I think maybe a little bit. It might not, but maybe a little bit, because if you're blocking off your calendar automatically, it's not showing that that place is getting booked. You're just blocking it off.
True.
So if you're just blocking it off for like a week, 7 days, you're just blocking it off. It's not showing actually that specific listing is getting booked. It's not triggering that response to the algorithm saying this is getting booked. Let me push it up more. So yeah, I think it does have a little effect on your algorithm over time. I think it'll get to a point where it'll be like on the 10th page.
Right. I'm glad you answered, because you're helping people. So it absolutely makes a difference, y'all. If you just block off your calendar because you're trying to do somebody a solid, that's gonna push you back in where people can find you. So what might be a workaround? Well, in my opinion would be maybe throw them a bone on the weekends if the prices are going to be a little higher, and give them a minimum stay like on a Monday through Thursday. So literally say you have friends and family that are here for 5 days, block off the calendar just on the weekend and have them pay for the Monday through Thursday stay, just so that your listing gets what it needs from the algorithm, so that you stay current. And you still, and the nice thing about it is, you still can give them an offer that's way better than what they would get somewhere else. And the truth is, if people value you and they value your business, whatever the rate is, they'll just pay it because they want to support you.
Yeah.
I mean, I have friends that have restaurants. Yeah, I go into their restaurant, I'm gonna pay full price. They don't need to give me a deal. So that's just to bear in mind. Don't think that you have to give somebody a deal. They'll just want to support you. All right, so cool. So your algorithm will be affected by blocking off nights. So check that. That is a fact, Jack. All right. I want to jump to your question, to requesting money. How does that impact the algorithm? Give me the backstory, because you shared a little bit, but I'm not sure if the people out there on social media connected any dots. So what's the backstory?
So yeah, story is, I guess, stayed in there long term starting during the slow season. and they actually like I guess when it comes to them paying for other nights, they had to pay for it separately. You know, due to their finances, they had to pay for like 4 nights here, 3 nights here, 2 nights here, and I kind of let them do that. I wanted them to actually extend their stay, but I know they kept doing it late, and I was like, I could just send them a request because I actually reached out to support, and they said I could actually send them a request for money to actually have them reserve their nights that way, but that's not actually booking it. So what I started doing is having that guest start extending their stay before 11 a.m. before my checkout time, so they can extend the stay, so it can keep the algorithm going. Because when I noticed, by looking at it from a guest point of view, I started seeing it like not on the first couple of pages, first 3 or 4 pages, and I was like, wow, this must be getting affected because this person keeps booking it through the request money button. So I was trying to just do this guest a solid, and I, stopped doing that now because we're getting into a higher season, and I wanted them to actually pay, actually do the actual booking, reserving the booking.
Do a reservation.
Yep.
For those that are, for those that don't know,
try to get a winter price at a summer season, and they were there so long, so I have them actually doing that. Even though you're trying to give a guest a salad, you still have to treat it like a business, right? So, because they definitely want to get a salad. Like, oh, I want to extend one day, and then I want to do another day, but they're trying to avoid, I guess, the fees that Airbnb is trying to do. But I had to kind of tell them, like, hey, look, I have to start just booking it through the platform and then doing a fee. So I guess like the guests that I had, they're trying to avoid the fee every couple of days, 2 or 3 days or 4 days and 2, because they're, I guess because they're doing, they can't
be more descriptive, because some people out there might be wondering what fee are we talking about? Another cleaning fee?
We're talking about not another cleaning fee, but we're talking about like the guest service fee that Airbnb takes out every time they extend. They take that out every time, so they're trying to avoid that. So that's the fee I was talking about.
Right. Yep. And so you diagnose accurately by just not having them go through the modification, the booking modification process. They were winning because they were able to avoid that fee, but you were losing because your listings were slowly slipping from the first, second, third, to the latter pages because it wasn't showing the activity.
Yeah. So that's what I figured. Yep.
So yeah, I mean, the only time I do like a request money, I never had that situation similar to yours, but I have had a similar, especially on more extended type stays, where somebody's, wife might come down or their spouse might come down. And they're not staying for a long period. They're just staying for maybe a weekend or a week or whatever. And, it's all pretty transparent. We communicate about it in the text thread that there'll be an upcharge for that stay. But you can't actually do it in the moment. You have to kind of do it on the back end. And sometimes, to be honest, they're such an amazing guest. It's not that I've forgotten to charge it. I just choose not to. But that's really the only time I've had to do the request funds. And honestly, I'm a pretty big stickler on this. If someone is asking me to for a late checkout, anything after 12 noon is a upcharge of whatever that nightly stay is. Because really for me, if the cleaner can't get in and out in a timely fashion, that's an unbooked night. So that's a night that my calendar is closed to the general public. So I gotta be compensated for that night.
That's great.
So that's really the only time I will request money as it relates to an additional service. And that's totally unrelated to like if they damage something, if I got to do a clean, or, I had the episode where like every third guest was smoking marijuana, and my cleaner would charge me extra to get the marijuana residue out.
Oh, yes.
So I would, that'd be an upcharge too.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, man. So we've had really two good algorithm questions. Now we're going to talk about an Airbnb policy question. So dive into the backstory of that first question.
For the backstory, that first question is actually sometimes we have, a difficult guest or a guest that have complaints about certain things. It could be like anything with the kitchen or the linens or the bedroom. We try to accommodate, I guess, the best way we can, but some of them just want more and they just can't, they can't get enough, so they complain. So the backstory with this is we had one of our guests that was going to stay long term, over 30 days. And they end up complaining about stuff like the blow dryer wasn't working properly. They were complaining about things like the laundry. We found out that the dryer, we have a laundry in the unit, the dryer wasn't drying properly. So the dryer was pushing out cool air, so it wasn't drying the clothes properly. So we actually had our handyman go out there and actually fix a part on the dryer, which we took care of in a timely manner. But the guests do complain about that. The guests complain about like the lights in the room on the ceiling fan not being out, not coming on, and we have actually day and night lights, so it comes on more at night and it stays off during the day. Plus, we have a side table lamps too that they can use. So these complaints that the guests had did, and they actually complained to support about it, and they requested, they requested these complaints to support, so they went straight to them.
So they could get, they wanted to get a discount.
They wanted it.
Is that where that's going? They wanted the discount?
They actually really what they wanted to do was shorten that stay. So they wanted to shorten it all the way from 30 days to like 5 days. And they wanted to get a partial refund of like $60 because of the dryer situation. So actually with B&B, they reached out to us saying, did you take care of these things? Would you be able to take care of them in a timely manner? Which we agreed and which we did. So we got, a blow dryer from one of our other places, brought it over. We had our handyman come out, fix the dryer, and we fixed those issues. But I guess the guests complained even more. And what I noticed is that on my end, that I seen that in my message inbox that it automatically got accepted because the alteration, they wanted to accept it. They wanted to make it 5 days instead of 30 days. And I'm like, whoa, I didn't accept the alteration to shorten their stay. So I'm like, who did it? So
customer service
did it automatically. I'm like, do that. So I'm like, oh man, they said that it fell under like a guest policy, like their refund and guest policy. It fell under that. And I'm like, wow, now I have to get these days rebooked out, sort of like a person, like if they tie up your calendar.
Yeah, exactly.
The day before they get there, they cancel. Now you got to get that whole days rebooked out again, which would be maybe a little bit more difficult doing that versus having a guest that was originally supposed to be in there. So I was like, wow, I guess support can do anything on that end.
Well, no, hold on. You can push back. Hold on. And now for my friends out there in social media, I'm gonna share with you what only works if you got the street credibility. All right. Cornell, I know, has it, because Cornell is a super host. Cornell, you pull that super host card. You pull a super host card. But here's why. Because the average host doesn't really know the inner workings. And the truth of the matter is, as you pointed out, for them to, they can ask your permission to modify the booking from 30 days to fewer days. But as you pointed out, they've already tied up your calendar. So because they've tied up your calendar, you are basically losing income because other people didn't have access to the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
So Had it, as this occurred, and it is what it is. Looking back, what I would have done is I would have basically done, really, man, I'm a super host. Man, I've been a super host for a couple months, actually going on 2-3 years. This has never happened before. Can I speak to a supervisor? Because they have a group of representatives that only service superhost related concerns or questions.
Didn't know that.
Yep.
But I did definitely complain about that. And so what ended up happening was, with that guest had got basically a refund for the days they didn't spend. And so they ended up just originally staying 5 days, which we got paid out for 5 days. And the days they didn't spend, they got a refund back for that. But by me complaining about me fixing the issues, what support did, they gave me $300 for inconvenience, as they say.
There you go.
But
there you go.
Because I actually ended up complaining, I actually went and complained back and said, hey, we fix these problems to accommodate guests the best way. They tied up the calendar, and I said all that information. But I was hoping that they wouldn't let the guests shorten their stay and have to stay there whole full length anyway. So I was like, okay, well, maybe they'll say that the guest has to stay that full original 30 days regardless, because they already stayed 2-3 nights already. So why not just to stay there? But they end up giving $300 back, which would have been less, of course, than the whole original reservation. But in that situation, I'm like, are they more guest friendly? Like when it comes to that, because they actually accepted the alteration on my behalf.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, they are. They are. They're absolutely more guest friendly for a lot of pretty straightforward reasons.
Yeah.
And the only way that you can really level the playing field is you do have to level the fact that, hey, I've already gone through the fire. I have the reviews. I have the response time. I have the nights booked. That's why I'm a super host. Bottom line, the average person that books a property only has about, between 2 and 10 reviews. Most super hosts have a minimum of 50 to 75 reviews.
Yeah.
So that's that. I mean, really, the truth, they're always going to be more slated towards the guest side, because that's who's actually, driving the revenue. They're in an amazing situation.
They
the
are.
host, we have the product. The guest is paying the revenue, and they have the software and the support.
So either way, they're gonna come out at the end win either way.
Either way.
That's amazing.
Either way, absolutely. So I would say the bigger thing that you need to be kind of mindful of is you're gonna get. Man. Hey, was O to the C.
That looks great.
See, we'll catch you up in a second. So what I would say for you, Cornell, is that keep watch out for those reviews. Because I'm just sensing, my spider sense is telling me if they wanted to shorten their stay, they're probably going to have something maybe not so pleasant to say that you just need to rebut using our best friend ChatGPT.
Yes, it's wild, because actually the guest, he actually left a 5-star.
He gave you a 5-star, okay?
5-star. It's just crazy.
Who would have known?
Who would have known? Like, wow.
Who would have known?
Yep.
That's all good. All good there. All right. Well, cool. All right. OC, man, we didn't know you were on board, brother. You can come off of mute if you want to.
Hey, I'm sorry, brother. I just popped in, man. I was out taking care of some business and working with the landscapers here, trying to get the yard done.
All right, man. Well, before we cycle back into the marketplace questions, you want to share out your wins for the last 14 days?
Oh wow. Well, I gotta gather them up, man. It's been blessing after blessing. The one blessing in the last 14 days was we finally got water on the property down on the farm. The guys have put in the pipes and everything, so we're just waiting for the pump to go in. So that moves us a lot closer to getting the septic tank in. Septic tank should be going in next week, and then we'll be wrapping up that cabin. We'll be getting the plumbing to the cabin, and then we'll be getting the interior done. So on that note, I got the landscapers here today at the house, at the farm retreat house. They finished it up, the landscaping in the front, and it looks great. So other than that, it's been a constant run. We had a tragedy in the family. Actually, my wife's sister passed, so we was down here. I don't know if you guys knew that. The last time we've been down here for a couple of weeks down in the North Carolina area, trying to get that settled and handled. And other than that, man, it's just been good. Gratitude is up, and blessings are up, and we're just thankful.
Amen. Amen. All right, brother. Yeah, man. You've been winning big, brother. Everything that you touch seems to have the Midas touch. It just turns to gold. And
oh man, it's our Father, brother. Remember our Father.
All right, man. All right. All right. So real cool. This is a great way to segue. So what happened was Cornell basically picked up on something I said about this whole 9-to-5 rut and people kind of being trapped. Why are so many people, more focused on working hard? And I literally mean this. Most people are very comfortable with working hard, and they're scared to death of pushing themselves out of their comfort zone to learn a skill or to learn a process or a new way of thinking or to read another book. Like we are mentally lazy. We would rather work our bodies to the bone than to enhance our skill set so we can work smart as opposed to working hard. So I got a couple of things that I borrowed from Myron Golden and a bunch of other thought leaders that I believe adequately addresses this issue. And I would love to get y'all feedback. Tell me if you agree or disagree. Definitely push back if you think otherwise. All right. So here's the big four, in my opinion. Okay. Number one, peer group. Number two, education. Number three, religion. And number four, the media. And I'm going to tackle each one of them. I want to start with, let's start with the reverse order. All right, the media. You like Marvel comics? Do you like superhero pictures? OC or Cornell? You guys get into those?
Yeah.
No, I don't get it, Earl.
All right. So here's a common thread. Spider-Man. What does he do for? What's his backstory? What does he do for a living?
Actually, climbs and swings.
Yeah, because okay. Does he come from a wealthy background? He's a crime fighter, right? Yeah, right. What's his background? Is he well-to-do, middle class, or was he? What's the word? He was actually an orphan, right?
Yeah, Peter was a middle class.
Yeah, middle class. Yeah. His arch nemesis. Who's his arch nemesis?
Some wealthy guy.
Some wealthy. So let's just get into it. Every super villain in the Marvel universe is somebody who's wealthy. Y'all peeping this out?
Oh yeah, see.
So we are programmed at a very early age Poverty, good. Abundance, wealth, bad. And we're programmed it in Hollywood. We're programmed it in just, it even spills into our churches and synagogues. Well, not so much the synagogues, because they got a whole nother mindset. But most of our churches, right? Even though we know that everybody of significance, all of God's people who were put in places to make differences, were in the palace. Esther is in the palace. Joseph is in the palace. All of these folks that are changing the whole court, they're in the palace. However, the most of our Sunday lessons, you're more spiritual if you are given, if you are serving, if you are, and all of that's so true. But the thing about it is, you can't, like what they say in the airport, right? If you have, if your oxygen mask, it needs to be employed, you got to put your mask on before you help other people. Or maybe that's not a good analogy. Let me try this. If you're drowning, before you save your neighbor, you need to get to the shore yourself, especially if you can't swim. So often, we want to give our last to the people around us, and we don't have a whole bunch to start with ourselves. So the mental programming, talked about Hollywood. We're talking about, our church services, our worship services, is that to do what we're doing right now, to solve a problem and go to the marketplace and get paid, is not as righteous as to stay at a 9-to-5 and give 10%, 20%, 30% of your earnings to the church. I push back on that. I don't agree. But there's more. You talked about the matrix. I think one of the biggest things is, newsflash, educational system. The educational system was funded by the industrialists in the early 19th century, because we were moving from the agricultural system to the factory system. And we needed to train folks for those factories that once were on those family farms. So what we do is we have bell systems. We line people up in rows, and we expect them to master a subject in 30 or 40 minutes, forget it, go to another class, master it 30, 40 minutes, forget it, and then rinse and repeat. No one learns that way. No one learns that way. So why did we do it? For critical thinking? No. And here's the worst part. The worst part is, the group that can conform and go through the educational system will get some sort of factory 9-to-5 job. The folks that can't conform typically drop out, and we call that the high school to prison pipeline. And that particular folks that look like you and me and live in urban areas.
Hey, Earls, can you repeat that? You call it what?
We call that I'm sorry, man. I was flowing a moment ago. Now I'm thinking about it. It's the high school to prison. It's all right. It's actually a book. This is documented. It's called the High School to Prison Pipelines.
Oh, wow.
There's actual data. They will take a look at 9th grade graduation rates. So here's the thing. The 9th grade is the first grade that a student has to actually produce evidence of learning in order to be promoted. Meaning what? 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade. You ain't got to learn nothing. you're automatically going to be academically promoted, socially promoted based on your age. The moment you get to ninth grade, social promotion ends. The moment you can't academically produce, now look, this is a habit. If you have not had to produce anything over 3 years, you think the fourth year automatically something's going to change? So they take a look at the number of ninth graders have to repeat ninth grade because they're not going to 10th grade. And based on those numbers, they start planning on how many prison cells to build.
Wow. What?
Because they know, look, they know statistically that person is not going to be able to undo all of those habits that they've created in the last 3 to 4 years.
Wow.
So what happens? They drop out. Typically, that percentage that we're talking about drop out the next year. They get involved with some sort of group that is doing something, against or anti society. They're breaking rules, and they get connected with the legal system, and the legal system they spit us, they chew us up and spit us out. And what you'll have is, young men, lose their 20s and 30s, come out in their late 40s. And, by that time, they've figured themselves out. They figured who they are. They've learned their style and they're ready to produce. They're reformed. But what a loss of talent. It's such a shame. It's such a shame. So we're either going to that 9 to 5 rut for those that will conform, and those non-conformists are trapped in the high school to prison pipeline.
Wow.
So here's my last point. My last point is your peer group. See, I want to tailor this conversation in a way that's palatable to everybody. The reason that people outside of the Black and brown community look at us differently is that, well, y'all not motivated. Y'all ain't taking advantage of the opportunities. Well, what they see is they treat us as one homogenous group, where the truth are we're very different. So when you see an immigrant that looks like you and me come over, their peer group and their sense of identity is very different. Like my best friend is a physician. He has 4 businesses. He came from a place where running water didn't exist, where they were just happy to be here so they could have opportunities. So they'll look at immigrants come to the U.S. and within a generation or less blow up, have very successful businesses, very educated doctors, lawyers, all of these things. And they'll say, well, how come the Americans who are born in the U.S. aren't doing the same thing? What's the peer group? It's how we were socialized. That's what keeps us in the rut. A lot of times people won't want a level change from here to here. It's because they're afraid to leave people behind. Family, friends, people you grew up with. And unless you can find another peer group where you feel validated, it's very hard. So what are y'all thoughts? Push back on anything you disagree with.
That's really on point what you were saying. I know you didn't speak on, I know you said some people don't want to change their peer groups. They don't want to leave behind certain things or certain people they grew up with. and things like that. You know, and you did talk about conditioning too. I know you said that about the industrial age. Were you referring to the Rockefellers when you said way back, or when this all started, or you know, some people say it's that. Some people say they're just scared to take that faith, that leap of faith. Is it that, or is it just conditioning? Was it just why we wired that way?
Yeah, it's conditioning. I mean, you
It works
can't.
so well.
Yeah, I mean,
It's crazy the way they have conditioning works. It's like they tested it and they see the results that it's working. It seems like it works so well. It's wild.
yeah. The only way to undo conditioning is you literally gotta turn off the news, turn off most social media if you're not filtering it the right way. Plug yourself
Right.
into a peer group where they're supporting your goals, they're encouraging your dreams, they're holding you accountable, kind of like what we do here, huh? They're asking you for higher critical thinking. They're encouraging you to take a course, invest in yourself, read books, um, and and all of that requires you to put forth energy in a way that you're just not passively letting life come to you, but you're moving on life. I mean, let's keep it 100. How many hours of TV do you watch a week, Cornell?
I don't really watch too much TV. I really don't watch too much TV because I just feel as though watching TV is like distracting you and robbing you of your time, of which you could use that more productively. You know, I
How
mean,
about you? What about you, OC? How many hours of TV do you watch a week?
Actually watch maybe 3 hours during the week,
Okay.
but I listen to it all the time. I got YouTube, I got motivational speaking on, I got
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on
uh
now. That's not the same.
oh no,
Mm,
as far as oh no, no. As far as programs, I
yep.
mean I would actually watch like Mark Wayne's for an hour or so, maybe a couple hours a week. You know, the food guru that goes around eating different foods from different places. But
Yeah.
yeah, as far as programs, I hadn't watched programs in a long time.
Yeah.
Movies, stuff like that. No, I don't do that.
So I promise you, if you find someone who's doing something significant, there is a level of intentionality of what they're putting into their ears, what they're allowing to go through their eyes. And as a result, they're very disciplined in what comes out of their mouth. And by virtue of us being this being such a small, these are people that want transformation because this is such a small number. When you look around, especially if you're in places where it's maybe more conservative and less progressive, you would think that Black and brown people are not making moves, but we really are. You just got to know where to look. Just got to know where to look.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so elated. Some of the associations that I'm getting a chance to meet through OC and through you, Cornell, through the people you guys have introduced to some of our podcasts, are next level. Our next level. So I mean, that's truthfully the way you break through. That's how you break out. You got to change. You got to change the peer group. You got to unplug the TV. You got to, you know, utilize your time in a way where you're generating some insights, and some knowledge that allow you to bring value to the market. Wages over what's the term? Profits over wages. That is the key to creating legacy. profits over wages. But profits take a level of, I see it here before I see it there. It's a conditioning. And the last 5 minutes of this broadcast, I do want to kind of encourage, we're talking about reading. I want to encourage our group out in social media to check out a couple books. OC and Cornell, anything that comes to your mind before I dovetail into that direction?
Not for me, it's good stuff. No, really good stuff, especially the programming piece. You're very intentional kind of brainwashing from an early age. Yeah, that's kind of mind boggling, but it's they've done it all across the platform, even with the I was thinking back when we were kids, how they had us shooting guns, playing cowboys and Indians. You know what I'm saying? We're fighting each other, shooting at each other, we're pointing guns at each other, and everything was good. Wow, program has been going on for a long time.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, I agree as well.
And Earl?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Cornell. Just one last sound bite on that. Up in DC, before they shut it down, they had a museum. It was called Museum.
Okay.
And it was a museum that showed you how they did the news and things like that, and the history of the news. And when you go through the museum to look at their displays, and they actually showed you how they use the media to pretty much brainwash the people to do what they wanted to do. No, look it up.
Oh,
It was a yeah. I mean, you saw it, and they walk you through, like when wartime broke out, and they wanted to move the crowd, move people one way. They used the news to do it. Propaganda was great. Yeah.
Yeah, that is so not looking for the right words. And my disadvantage is this. I before I met my wife, I was in a relationship with this young lady who was a major in journalism major, and she this is in high school or college, right? And she had this phrase that always stays with me. He says, when people decide what should be on the, whether it's print or whether it's broadcast, what goes in that first soundbite or that first page, or with our digital age, that first headline, she always summarizes this: if it don't bleed, it don't lead. What? So if it ain't negative,
that is true.
Yeah. If it don't uplift, if it disempowers, that's what we start with. No wonder we're programmed for failure. We're programmed for self-doubt. We're programmed for self-limitation. If it don't bleed, it don't lead. Wow.
Yeah, bad news is is definitely the way they go to make their profits.
Yep. Yep. All right. So let me leave with this, right? Okay. I'm gonna just share 3 books that I've been messing with real good and real good. And I hope it inspires someone to check them out. So there's this gentleman named Dr. Wayne Dyer. And he must have authored almost 50 some odd books. But I got into him because I was trying to get my understanding around this law of attraction. And so he emphasizes the power of your intentions, what you want, what you desire. How is it going to benefit you? How is it going to benefit others? And so he basically creates just a he has one book that I got into, and he talks about like when he looks back over the course of his life, he was a military person, and he talked about being in a country where he got introduced to a shaman, and almost unintentionally he got into the mindset that you can heal your body, you can heal yourself. And with that belief, he was able to he had like stage 2 cancer. The cancer cells went away. But it wasn't just belief, he had some other practices along the way. And so through the litany of books that he will take you to a whole nother dimension in terms of looking at the world. Okay. All right. The other gentleman I would really encourage people is this gentleman named he's been passed for a while. Neville Goddard. He's written books about the power. Goddard, yeah. Power of awareness, feeling is the secret, awaken imagination, the law and the promise, to name a few. Just go ahead and Google some of this stuff. And his very similar, right? He emphasizes the power of imagination and belief when it comes to creating your own reality. Some people think that it's the direction of the wind that determines where you end up in life. And my pushback is not about the wind, it's about how you set your sail. Good news happens, bad news happens. But it's how you perceive that good or bad news, how you reframe it, that makes all the difference in the world. Two twins in an abusive household. One twin becomes a drug addict because that's what he saw his father do. The other twin becomes a doctor because he wants to help people who are going through this disease called addiction. All right. And I'll leave with the third book, the third author, Frederick Dodson. This book is interesting because this author is interesting because they have a lot of people who tell you about the power of visualization and affirmation, and they're all right. You know, vision board, that's all true. But this gentleman basically challenge you that anything that you want to do can be accomplished based on your self identity. So if you identify yourself as someone, oh, I'm just not good at this, or I'm just not good at that, you've taken on an identity where you're going to create results that correspond with that identity that you've given yourself. So he has a really interesting a book. He talks about you can do, be, and have any identity that you want if you embrace the idea of parallel universes. Yeah, that's true. Parallel universes. There's a version of you in another universe that is doing whatever you thought you might want to do as a little boy or as a little girl. And they're doing it at a level in which you can do is, in order to move from where you are, which is maybe a self-limiting identity, it's called quantum jumping. Quantum jumping. Interesting book. Really interesting book. I read it like 3 times. I'm on my 3rd read. But this whole idea of having a parallel universe and being able to interact in a metaphysical way with another version of yourself who has skills have talents, have insights that you don't currently have, but during your meditation, you interacting with that person, and you come back to this plane, and your identity has changed. When you change your identity, you change your belief, you change every aspect about what you can bring into reality. It's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. So I'm gonna stop right there. So takeaways from this evening. Cornell, what would you say one of your takeaways were?
Yeah, I would definitely say one of my takeaways is from this evening is the whole how you broke down the whole system with the school system and just actually just unplugging from everything, distractions to actually and getting around the right peer groups and the right environment and right people to um actually become who you want to become. That's one of my takeaways from this evening. That's key. That is definitely key to actually unplug from everything, like you were saying, to that's the only way you're gonna be able to get out of the condition that you were saying. So that's one key, a major key that I took away from this evening.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. OC, what about you, man? What was one of your takeaways?
Yeah, Cornell's on the hot button, man. That's what I was going to push. Being intentional about your inputs, your intakes, and your surroundings. Ensuring that you're surrounding yourself with next level people, and getting in the right peer groups. So definitely, that was the hot button for me. Since I've been on, I hadn't been on long, but good stuff.
Good stuff. Good
And
stuff. All right.
I agree with you. Did a very good breakdown to, like he said, of the system.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, that's our time. Hopefully you will connect with us tomorrow as we level up with LaShawn and Avery Williamson, and talk about their entrepreneur journey. All right, blessings, everybody. Take care. Bless and God bless.
Blessings, right to you.
Bless.